Good morning, my dear students. How are you all? Hope you all fine. Are you studying well? Study well, okay? Study all the day-to-day portions, okay? So in last class we have learned the first section of the prose when the trees walked. Yes, we have learned about the author, about grandfather and grandma. Yes, and we have learned about people tree. Yes. Okay, so today we are going to learn section 2. Take page number 113. 113. See, grandfather wasn't content with growing trees in our compound. During the rains, he would walk into the jungle beyond the riverbed armed with cuttings and saplings, which he would plant in the forest. But no one ever comes here, I had protested. The first time we did this, who's going to see them? See, we are not planting them simply to improve the view, replied grandfather. We are planting them for the forest and for the animals and birds who live here and need more food and shelter. Of course, men need trees too, he added, to keep the desert away, to attract rain, to prevent the banks of rivers from being washed away, for fruit and flowers, leaf and seed. Yes, for timber too. But men are cutting down trees without replacing them. And if we don't plant a few trees ourselves, a time will come when the world will be one great desert. Okay, listen. Grandfather was not satisfied with growing trees in his compound. He planted many trees in his compound. Am I right? But he was not satisfied. He already planted lime, mango, orange, eucalyptus, Persian lilac, jacaranda, goa. Yes, but he was not satisfied. So he wanted to plant many trees. So that what he did during the rainy season, he walked into the forest. He carried cutting and sapling. Cutting means what? Plant cuttings. Okay, saplings means the young plant. So he carried cutting and saplings to plant both side of the riverbed. You can see the picture riverbed. So he carried cutting and saplings to plant both side of the riverbed. Okay. When the first time Arthur and his grandfather did this, Arthur protested. Protested means opposed. Okay. That means expressed strong objection. Why? Because he said his grandfather, no one will come to take care of these plants. So this is waste of time. Who opposed? The author. Okay. Why? Because no one will take care of these plants. Because we are planting these plants in the forest. That's why. Okay. Grandfather said we are not planting them to improve the view. View means what? To improve the view. That means to make the forest beautiful. So, grandfather said, we are not planting them to improve the forest beautiful, to make the forest beautiful. We are planting the cutting and saplings for the forest and the animals and birds because they need food and shelter. That's why. Okay, if we planted here, they will get food and shelter. So you have to underline third paragraph, just to underline, we are not planting them simply to improve the view. Okay, we are planting them for the forest and for the animals and birds who live here and need more food and shelter. Grandfather gave additional information. Okay, men need trees too. What? Men need trees too to keep the desert away, to attract rain, to prevent the banks of river. To prevent means stop the banks of river. Banks means mounds of earth on the edge of rivers. That is banks. Okay, banks of river for being washed away. For being washed away, that means removed by the flowing water. Okay, so you have to underline to keep the desert away, to attract rain, to prevent the banks of river for being washed away. Just you underline. And for fruit, for flowers, leaf, and seeds. Okay, men need these things. Of course, men need timber too. What do you mean by timber? Wood used for building, that is called timber. Okay, we are using timber for our house also, right? For window, for door, many furniture item we are using timber. Timber means what do you mean by timber? Wood used for building, that is called timber. Okay, for that purpose we need trees. Okay, but what men are doing, men are cutting the trees without replacing them. Without replacing them. If we don't plant at least few trees in future, the world will become great desert. Okay? So if we don't plant at least few trees in future, the world will become a great desert. Okay? See the next page. Page number 114. The thought of the world without trees became a sort of nightmare to me, and I helped grandfather in his tree planting with great enthusiasm. And while we went about our work, he taught me a poem by George Morris. Woodman spare that tree, touch not a single bough. In youth it sheltered me, and I will protect it now. After he got all the information and advice, the author thought about the world without trees becoming sort of nightmare to him. So, sort of nightmare. That means nightmare means what? A frightening dream. So the author thought about the world without trees. It was a frightening dream to him. Okay, and after he listened all the informations and advice from his grandfather, he decided to help grandfather in his tree planting with great enthusiasm. Great enthusiasm means what? Great interest. Okay, so while they planting, grandfather taught a poem. The poem was written by George Morris. Woodman. Woodman means a man who cut the trees for timber. That is called woodman. Okay, a man who cut the trees for timber. What do you mean by timber? Wood used for building. That is called timber. Okay, woodman spared that tree. That means woodman leave out the tree. Okay, don't touch a single branch of the tree. When I was a boy, it gave shelter to me, and I will protect it now. It's the time I want to protect it. Okay, so this is the poem. Who written this poem? George Morris. Okay, so who taught the poem to whom? Yes, grandfather taught the poem to grandson. That means the author. See the next paragraph. One day the trees will move again, said grandfather. They have been standing still for thousands of years, but there was a time when they could walk about like people. Then along came an interfering busybody who cast a spell over them, rooting them to one place. But they are always trying to move. See how they reach out with their arms, and some of them, like banyan tree, with its traveling aerial roots, manage to get quite far. Okay, grandfather said one day the trees will move again. Okay, grandfather said one day the trees will move again. He started to tell a story. Once upon a time, the trees were walked like a people. Okay, um, one interfering busybody. Interfering means stopped. One interfering busybody means person to concern with others activity, that is called busybody. Okay, interfering busybody is nothing but one who always stop others activity, that is interfering busybody. Okay, so one interfering busybody put a magic over the trees and rooted in one place, but the trees try to move with their arms like banyan tree. You can see banyan tree. So banyan tree tried to move with its traveling aerial route. You can see the picture. Banyan tree tried to move with its traveling aerial route. So The banyan trees tried to move small distance with its traveling aerial route. See the next paragraph. We found an island, a small rocky island, in a dry riverbed. It was one of those riverbeds so common in the foothills, which are completely dry in summer but flooded during the monsoon rains. A small mango tree was growing on the island. If a small tree can grow here, said grandfather, so can others. As soon as the rain set in, and while rivers could still be crossed, we set out with a number of tamarind, laburnum, and coral tree saplings and cuttings and spent the day planting them on the island. Okay, listen. When grandfather was saying the story and planting, cutting, and saplings, they saw a small rocky island in the dry riverbed. You can see the picture, dry riverbed. Okay, it was common during summer season. Those riverbed was dry, and monsoon season, that means rainy season, full of water. Okay, they saw a small mango tree was growing in that island. What? A small mango tree was growing in that island. Grandfather said, if a small tree can grow here, definitely other trees will grow. Okay, the rain set in, that means the rain started. They could cross the river, that means the water level was low, so they could cross the river. They carried number of tamarind, laburnum, you can see the picture, tamarind, laburnum, and coral tree saplings and cuttings. So they carried number of tamarind, laburnum, and coral tree saplings and cutting. They spent the day planting them on the island. Okay, they spent the day planting them on the island. So see the glossary. Protested, opposed or disagree. Nightmare, a frightening dream. Okay, interfering, stopping. So I will give these three question answers through the WhatsApp. Okay. See, do you know column? The Western Ghats is home to nearly 325 globally threatened flora, fauna, bird, amphibian, reptile, and fish species. So flora means flower plants, variety of flower plants. Fauna means animals, bird, amphibian. Amphibian means waterfalls. Okay, reptile, you know the reptile, right? Snake, crocodile, turtle, tortoise, these are reptiles, etc. And fish, type of fishes. So we can see these species in Western Ghats. This is home to nearly 325 globally threatened flora, fauna, bird, amphibian, reptile, and fish species. Now take page number 117. Fourth one. The author did not want to plant saplings in the forest because no one could come to see them. Okay, the author did not want to plant saplings in the forest because no one would come to see them. Okay, so the answer is A. Fifth one. Grandfather felt planting trees would help the forest because grandfather felt planting trees would help the forest because the animals and birds would find it easier to live. Okay, so the first one answer is A, fifth one answer is D. So students, I will give the page number 114 three question answers through WhatsApp. Okay, hope you all understand this. Thank you so much. Study well, study day-to-day portions.